So tonight I want to talk to you about pirated software. First, what is pirated software? Well, pirated software is software that you don't have a license for. What's a license? When you buy your copy of Office, whether it's from the Microsoft website, whether it's from a bricks and mortar store, you're not buying the disc, you're not buying the box or the pamphlet or anything that comes with it. You are buying a license to run the software on one and only one computer, unless, of course, you purchase a site license. So what does that mean? Well, it means you can install it on one and only one computer, not 20. You didn't buy 20 licenses. This is a computer. You can install it on this. You can't install it on this and then put it on another computer, unless you bought 2 copies of Office, as an example. A lot of people try to justify it by saying, oh, these companies are making a fortune. Microsoft isn't the world's largest computer company. Apple is. Apple makes software and computer products. Microsoft is something called shareholders. Now, shareholders are people that buy a small portion of the company. And they're usually paid something called dividends. What are dividends? At the end of the company's year or quarter, depending on how it's done, the company pays the profits in dividends to its shareholders. Software is not cheap to develop, especially something like Microsoft Office. Microsoft has hundreds of programmers, hundreds of UI designers, hundreds of graphic designers, and hundreds of beta testers. And these people aren't making, your $15 an hour wage working at, or $14 an hour working at McDonald's or Burger King. These are people that are making $30 to $40 an hour, and even further than that, because good programmers are expensive. So all their hard work goes into that product, right? If just say all those people just made the one copy of Microsoft Office, right? That copy of Office would probably cost about $2 million, right? But that's not how it works. All these people, they write, and Microsoft sells multiple copies, thousands, tens of thousands, 20,000, millions, right? That's how Microsoft is able to provide Microsoft Office at the price that it does. It's actually not that expensive when you consider some other software like AutoCAD, how much that costs a month. So now you know what licensing is, what software is. Software is the stuff like Office or even Solitaire. Now some software is free. LibreOffice or OpenOffice are free open source web office suites that you can download from the web. Perfectly legal, perfectly free. Why are those free? Well, because volunteers work on the code for the most part. Some companies do too that use the software in their internal organization. They contribute back to the community. Those are genuinely free copies of software. Why do I care? Well, here's the thing. If you're a company and you're caught running pirated software, you kind of had to prove that you weren't using pirated software through your organizations. So even if you're a small company, say making $250,000 a year, if Microsoft catches you with, or the business software alliance, I think it's called in Canada, catches you with a pirated copy of software, you could be on the hook for $250,000 to how many millions they think you've been pirating. Now, because I see it every now and then being offered. Sometimes people will say, hey, for $50, I can install a copy of Microsoft Office on your computer. And here's the thing. You really don't need Microsoft Office for most day-to-day stuff. You can get away with LibreOffice or OpenOffice perfectly acceptable alternatives, right? The guy is willing to say put Office on for 20 or 50 bucks, right? You know, like the Office Professional, which is like a $700 to $1,200 product. He's a criminal. If you buy a laptop for less than $300 and it comes with a full version of Microsoft Office, that's probably a criminal enterprise too. Here's the thing you need to think of, right? He's willing to do that. What else is he willing to do? I mean, think about it. You pay someone $50 to put part a copy of Microsoft Office. Oh, I'm saving all that money. How honest is this guy, right? Willing to pirate one thing, he's probably willing to do other things. While he's got your computer installing Microsoft Office for $50 or $20, maybe he's installing other stuff like a keylogger so they can get into your bank account. Oh, you didn't think of that, did you? Here's the thing. Just say you go to a crack house to buy crack, right? And you talk about your 56-inch TV, and you go home, your 56-inch TV is gone. Why? Because you bought crack at a crack house. In other words, you were dealing with a criminal enterprise where there are criminals, right? So when you do that, right, you bring stuff on yourself, right? If you pay some $50 to put a full copy of Office on your computer, what are the chances that he's not, like I said, putting a keylogger on your computer or setting himself up so that he can log into your computer to use it to perform illegal activities online? You might say, well, how could he do that? Well, he could set your computer up so it's sending your router password information using a keylogger. And you might say, well, what's the danger in that? Well, if he's selling crack cocaine online using your IP address, using your router, guess where the cops are going to show up? If he installed a keylogger and he's using that to get your banking information, don't be surprised when you come home and you owe $2 million because somebody took up, a whole bunch, took up 50 mortgages on your house. And this is what people have to realize, right? When you're dealing with criminal enterprises, there are consequences. If you buy a computer for $300 and it has the latest full copy of Office on it, you're dealing with a criminal enterprise. And you might say, oh, what are the chances? The chances are pretty good. You know how much credit card and bank fraud there's going on right now, mortgage fraud. And you've set yourself up because you wanted to save a few $100s when you didn't even have to. Because like I said, LibreOffice and OpenOffice is free. There was a time when it was more acceptable to pirate software because there wasn't a lot of open source stuff available. Now you've got LibreOffice and OpenOffice. And then there's a Chinese company Office suite that I think is free. The only reason why I don't recommend it, I mean, if you're not into anything where you have to worry about security, like government or anything like that, I wouldn't worry about it. But you don't know where it's sending stuff to. But that's something to think about, right? Dealing with a criminal who's willing to commit a crime on your behalf, guess what else he's willing to do? Anyway, something you should probably think about is, who you're dealing with. All right, thanks.